Call the meeting in order. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll start with the approval of the agenda. The appointment for 9:05 has been postponed due to emergency, so chief, these are the packets, correct, to look over, so.
Was the person becoming at a later time, Allison, or one? Okay,
You'll come again at another date, okay.
okay. Thank you.
Now we'll move on to previous minutes, board meeting minutes from September 7th.
We have the agenda.
Oh, sorry,
Move to approve with that adjustment.
thank you, Allison.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Now we can do the minutes. Approval of September 17th minutes.
So,
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. There's no further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Any public comment? There's no public comment. Appointments have been postponed for now. Labor negotiation, we'll just have that at the end of the meeting. Is that okay? Yep. Consent agenda. There's 2 items on the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll move.
Is there a second?
I'll second that and make sure we give a
Thank you.
thank you for the 25 years of dedicated service.
Yep.
For Diane.
Want to point that out to Diane, been here for 25 years of public service, and we want to thank her for her service. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Action item number 1, consider adopting resolution number 24-37, authorization to execute Minnesota Department of Transportation grant agreement for airport improvement excluding land acquisition. Ryan.
Hey, good morning, Commissioners. So a few months ago, the county board approved the contract with Bolton and Mink to prepare a clear zone acquisition plan. So this is something that the state's pushing to have every airport state do. This is the grant agreement that will go along with that. So previously the board approved contract with Bolton and Mink for $10,000. This grant would fund $7,500 out of that cost with state money, and then that'll reduce the local cost down to $2,500. So it's a 75% state share, 25% local share.
Any questions on this? If not, is there a motion to approve? Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Same sign. Action item number 2, consider approving Molten Mink T-hanger proposal.
Yes, at the board meeting last week, we discussed moving forward on the T-hanger project. So this is a work order with Bolton and Mink to start the design so we can get out and advertise to see what the cost is to construct a T-hanger. So Bolton and Mink proposal is for $60,000, and that'll get everything designed up, the bid documents in place, advertised for bid. We'll get quotes back. And then at that time, or bids back, and then at that time, once we have the bids received, we'll look at, do we move forward on constructing the T-hangers or not? And does it, is it going to be a 6-unit or 8-unit, depending on that cost? So this is that next step that's needed for the T-hanger project.
So who sets the minimum standards for the design, engineering design,
So
or the T hanger?
minimum standards are set by the FAA
Yeah.
and, if the county wants to go above and beyond the minimums, so say we want to add. Fully heat the units and stuff and have special components, then usually that's going to become 100% local cost that they won't participate in. So a lot of it is based on minimum FAA standards. We
Yeah.
want to have FAA funds pay for the majority of it.
So it's, gotta be pre-engineered metal building, concrete footings, bifold doors. LED lights.
I think we need to go forward on it, so I move to approve the proposal.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 3, consider adopting resolution number 24-36, adopting the 2025 proposed operating budget. Carol.
Right, so I have given you. 2 sheets, of course, one is the comparison of the levy, which was adopted last week. And taken that information and put it into the second sheet that shows the budget numbers. So the top part is the actual distribution of the levy, which is then pulled down to the bottom part of the sheet. So our total expenditure budget is 37,672,890. Our total revenue budget is 37,585,597. Leaving with the 7.5% levy an $87,293 budget deficit as compared to the amount we started with.
Right.
There was discussions or Commissioner Severson and Burns met last Wednesday and went through the budgets and took a look at some of the things that were, there were little changes that added up and there were some bigger changes, things that might not need to be done. We did increase our projected interest income. Not really sure on that, but there'll be more discussions prior to adopting the final levy in budget in December. So the 7.5% is what will be used to prepare the truth in taxation notices that will go out.
Mhm.
And I guess we will see how the truth in taxation meeting goes.
Mhm.
I did actually a dummy calculation, set up a sample set of files, and there's shifts. We have an additional $2.3 million in tax capacity, so that helps spread some of the increase out, but the homestead property got additional market value deferral. So, my house in town, the taxes went down. Some of the houses out in the country, even ag properties went down. Ag property saw an increase in value. They went up. So it's a mixed bag of how it's going to affect the actual property tax statements.
Like a yo-yo.
Hmm?
Like a yo-yo.
Well, yeah, it would have been more interesting if we were at 10%.
Even at 10% in town, mine stayed the same. I had done a calculation then, and then I changed it to the 7.5.
I guess the one thing that really helped us is that change in tax capacity and all the new properties and buildings and stuff like that coming onto the rolls. That's the positive side of it. And things are happening in the areas. won't speak, because keep still building, they'll keep helping us when we come to that taxation.
Mhm. We hope we can keep building more. There aren't
Yeah, some-
moratoriums.
That's except in Wilmington Township.
Yeah. Anyway, that's another story.
Uh-huh.
So, um. Well, as we get closer to December, have a better idea where we're really at as far as carryover, whether we have.
Right. Mhm.
So
As we get through.
that 87 number could change. Possibly.
Mhm. And
What
you know,
else?
right now, our 2024 budget is showing a deficit.
Right,
But we usually make up, you know, we ended up having more interest income and different things like that. So it usually brings that down also.
Yep.
So,
and there could be more places to find some savings too.
mhm.
I move to approve resolution 2436, the operating budget for 2025.
Motion's been made to approve the 2025 budget. Is there a second?
But this is proposed, right?
Yes.
Opposed.
Yes, I'll second it.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right,
Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right,
I guess the one thing is, did we set the truth in taxation hearing? Meeting time, date, time?
I don't think we have yet.
Okay, when is AMC?
So December, first week of December, usually.
4th to 5th of December, it used to be.
So then December 10th would be,
Can we try that?
I mean, that's a work group day. Do you want to have the meeting has to be at night.
Right.
TV has to be at night.
That's fine with me, December 10th,
at what time? Be 6?
6.
6.
Right here, I guess I could go for it.
Do we need a motion on that? Or just set a date?
Set a date.
We have a good consensus to set a date of December 10th, 6 P.M. Anything else?
What else do we have?
Approve
Well,
the payments.
Hey, man,
That'd be the
For the
next one.
payments.
Any questions on reviewing and approving payments?
Make a motion to approve the payments as presented.
Motion's been made. Is there a second? Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Payments approved. We'll skip number 5 towards the end here for closed session.
Yep.
Yep. Anything else?
Well, we'll be, I'll be giving you an update on what we've received for the negotiations, and I guess I'm assuming there won't be any action until Bob is back.
Right,
We'll see, but I'll give you an update on that in the closed session. We'll be looking at, I'll be getting out the applications for the environmental services director position to you with rating forms so that everybody can rate them. Then we'll set up interviews if that's deemed.
okay,
deemed the thing. We'll be looking, Human Services is interviewing tomorrow, I believe, for their account tech. We have the environmental services, we're rating the applications. So there'll be interviews for that.
Okay.
So those things are all kind of moving along.
Yep.
Just been. We have to get together and do the HR director job description, taking off the things that aren't going to be in there.
Yep.
Anymore. And we'll
Right.
do that with Anne.
so you're working along with it, that's good.
Mhm.
To answer your question, Gray, it's Martin's position, old position.
Yeah, the full board typically interviews the
Department.
department head
Yep.
vacancies.
That'd be there. Amelia and how many others? Maybe.
But what
It's not public information until
public.
they accept an interview.
Okay.
So,
You're saying.
Yeah.
At least we got people.
Anything else?
Should be
Closed
good.
session then?
I mean, if there's anything that comes up, just get a hold of me.
All right,
Some days I'm just going from this.
I'm sure.
Mhm.
Well, when we email you or whatever, don't feel like you need to respond right away, because we know your business. When you have time, you guys say so. Appreciation things.
Oh, okay.
Well, no,
Well,
I was gonna go do the board updates first. We just had Carol's update. I'll do mine. We had department head meeting yesterday. Carol brought up the fact that there's the new personnel policy out there. And want to revisit that again and look at that and hopefully we can get that on the agenda for approval. So
probably on October 14th.
October 14th.
14th? Isn't that our, no, that's our third meeting. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Next October 8th will be this room will be under construction for the new IT equipment for the commissioner's room, so we'll be meeting over at the Justice Center that day for the workshop. Amelia's brought up that's gonna be discussed at our next workshop too, for the cannabis ordinances. And she wants to have a discussion at our workshop to look over the draft rules for the ordinance for cannabis. So, and then she's going to bring it to the planning commission as well. So that's something I worked on. Andy's been busy with his IT department and doing fixes and new equipment and everything else too, so. I don't know, Greg, can you think of anything else that was discussed? I know,
Surveying was going okay. I think there was a few niches there, but he was getting them worked out.
yeah, he's been working out some requests from cities and county townships. Probably just another note too, that Wilmington Township had a public meeting here last week. They voted to do a moratorium, a 1-year moratorium on new expansions of feedlots. All feedlots, and new non-farm dwellings. I'm not so sure. I haven't seen the exact wording of it, so I can't say exactly what all that is included. If does it include buildings or not, I don't. So that was discussed. Yeah, so that's pretty much all. Louis, what do you got?
Not much. It's been pretty quiet since last week. I was trying to get to the city meeting last night and things came up, so I didn't get there, so. Not much going on the northeast corner.
Bob?
I didn't have any additional meetings. Eric and I did meet with a couple of the department heads, zoning, et cetera, on a issue that kind of came up with
Parcel.
with parcels when they did the remapping of getting the property lines. I'll call it straightened out, someone who's a side that you listen to, but it came up where some parcel that someone thought that they had been paying on and owned for many years, the way that the mapping as it now has it listed as unknown. And they've been working with their attorney to try and get it a resolution with the county. And they're a little frustrated that they were never notified about it being listed that way. Because it changed on Beacon and stuff like that. So there's a little frustration there. Yeah.
Yep. We discussed that a little bit yesterday and we Greg and I advised Eric to talk to Sam about that too, to make, have a communication with him on that to make sure. All that's up and up, so.
Find out our liability or our line, whatever.
Other than that, I didn't have any other meetings.
Greg?
Well, I had that Wilmington Township meeting last Thursday night for that. Pretty disturbing. And then I went to, we had the department head, you pretty much talked on everything there. I would like the board though to have Sam send them a letter that we don't want to be involved in that zoning. I think it's gonna be a mess.
Yeah, send Wilmington a letter about, are they taking over zoning and permitting?
Yep, taking over their own permitting and
I can have a discussion with Sam about that and see what his thoughts are on that.
Yeah.
And Amelia as well.
Yeah.
So,
They can really be really involved.
I mean, it's gonna
Can we
take a
do it?
lot.
I don't know.
She don't have enough time to do what we want her to do now, and if she has to take on something like that, boy.
well,
Well,
she won't be to have to do anything because
No.
Wilmington's put a moratorium on all that.
True.
He's actually taking
taking away some,
work away from her.
but actually it takes permits. away from us too.
Another thing I was gonna bring up too, last week I made phone calls all around to District 9 counties about the jail contracts. For the juvenile detention center. Most of them hadn't heard anything about it. Mauer County did get back to me and said they were on board to do a contract. He talked with his finance departments and found out I dealt with the corrections part of the county, so those are the people we need to talk to. And they were on board of doing a 1-year contract. The rest of them, not all of them have gotten back to me, but the rest of them, there's quite a few of them that said that they weren't interested at this time because of the budgets where they're at. They're gonna do day by day. I just heard from Goodhue County this morning. She called me and said that they were not gonna do a contract. That was first they heard of it, that we were gonna do this. They're actually looking at doing a juvenile, turning their jail into a juvenile detentions facility too, for males only. So that's the route they're taking. I thought that was interesting that they're gonna do that too. Probably for the same reasons. So they have a fairly new facility that sits empty. But anyway, we'll get one for sure, and then day by day, day and day stuff, so hopefully we'll be okay on revenue side. And I relayed that to Brian yesterday. So he was here.
That's part of the budget process that he is planning on, I guess.
Yeah, something probably should have been out sooner, so they can plan for that. Anyway, is there any closing public comment? If not, we'll go into closed session. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
Don't move.
Second,
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
all right,
Aye. This is for Minnesota statute 13D.03 subdivision 1 to discuss labor negotiations. So Dewey made a motion, Greg seconded.
Yep.
Come out of closed session at 9:38.
So the closed session was held to discuss labor negotiations and with the various unions, and no action will be taken.
Great. So we've asked for public comment, nothing there, so. Anything else needs to be come before the board? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
so move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Here's your chance. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.